and we're all 17.
Cool. Hello everyone, my name's Helena Lair. I'm 17 and I've been playing the clarinet now for about, 12 years. And, oh, not 12, since I was 12, so that would be 5 years. And my process today is to show you how to put it together. So the basic way to put a clarinet together is first assessing the different pieces of a clarinet. So you have the bell. This is the bottom part of the clarinet. It protrudes outwards like a bell you would ring like this to produce more sound and to get the sound of a clarinet to project further. This is an integral part of it because the lower the clarinet is and the longer it is, the lower notes it can play. The next part you would add is this part of the keys. So this is the lower register part of the keys. You play this part with your right hand. With your pinkies, these keys correspond to different notes on the clarinet. And it would go insert right there. And there's one cork part of this clarinet. The corks are where you would, the corks help slide the wood from the clarinet together more easily because wood against wood would definitely damage your clarinet in the long run. The next part of the clarinet is this upper register part of keys. This you hold with your left hand when you're playing. There's like different notes on it. There's the upper register key. There you have your shallow register here, and it's played with your pinkies and also your right hand's knuckles on these knuckle notes right here. And this would connect to this part of the clarinet with this bottom cork. This part of the clarinet has two corks. So there's two different places where it would slide together to form the clarinet, but this is where it would insert into the bottom register. And there's this part specific here on the clarinet called the bridge. This bridge is super important to be careful of when you're putting the clarinet together because it's how the notes on both sides of this clarinet move together when you're playing. So when you slide it together, you lift up the keys with this part to make sure it's higher than this part so that when you slide it together, it doesn't damage the bridge. So this is the keys part of the clarinet. And then the next part is the barrel. The barrel is pretty simple. There's no cork on it, but it slides into the top cork of the clarinet. It's made of just wood with metal, but this elongates the clarinet long enough to reach those lower notes that help the clarinet get its full range of sound. So this is a pretty basic piece of the clarinet. And then the last part, and arguably the most important part, is the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece, there's definitely different kinds of mouthpieces out there, but I play on a B40, on a Van Doren mouthpiece. There's different brands, different types, and the different mouthpieces have different levels of opening at the top. The more open a mouthpiece is, the bigger sound you have, different things you can do with your mouth to create different sounds. So this one's a pretty basic one for classical playing, but this part with the cork inserts into the top part of the barrel, and the barrel has a top, and although it looks the same upside down the other way, it comes out just a little bit to indicate where the top and the bottom are. So you would slide this in, and the order you put your clarinet in is pretty, it's up to you really, but I've grown into the habit of putting the middle parts together first and then adding the bell to the bottom, sliding it together, and then putting the barrel and the mouthpiece on top first, or on top last. And part of the clarinet putting it together is lining up your mouthpiece with your octave key so that when you play it and hold it to your mouth, you're not crooked, you're not like tilting your head, because that would block your airstream and it'd be more difficult to produce a good sound. After putting your clarinet together completely in terms of the pieces of the wood and the wood part of the clarinet, you add a reed to the top. The reed is really important, and you can't play the clarinet without it. So a good reed, reeds last typically a month or so, but if you take good care of them, they can last a while. But the reed, you would get it wet with your spit, which is kind of gross, but it's important to get your reeds wet because otherwise they won't vibrate when you blow air into the clarinet. And the reed would attach right here underneath this ligature, and that's how you produce sound on the clarinet. I won't play it now because it'll take a second for me to get the reed on correctly because lining it up is also important, but overall, the clarinet is super tedious when putting it together, especially with the bridge key, and making sure your clarinet lasts a long time is super important because they're extremely expensive, and buying clarinets as often as you buy phones can be a lot. So thank you for your time.